politics to technology. And that's what we do here on newspunch, from the beginning to the end. And that is why we are here. Keep watching newspunch from Ben Television. And today I'll be your host. Thank you for joining us on the program today. The program is newspunch, coming to you live from Ben Television. My name is Tunde Alabi. We're transmitting live from our North London studio. On the show today, ahead of the June 23rd referendum, I've got guests in the studio that will be looking at why you need to go and vote, the importance of you being involved, the implication of you not being involved, and why you must see this as a crucial part of your living in the United Kingdom, in Britain specifically. Joining me on the show today is a young gentleman. He's laughing. Alex Pascal, very well known. Alex Pascal is an OBE. He's a co-founder of The Voice newspaper. He ran and presented the first daily black magazine radio program for BBC Radio London as far back as the 1970s for 14 years. Very young man indeed. And he's an excellent communicator. He's written a feature in column on the EU referendum, encouraging people to go and vote. We're very pleased to have Alex Pascal, who will be joining us on the program today. Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and it's nice to be with a good brother and a nice sister here. Yes.
It's great to finally have the opportunity to have you join us on the show and talk about this very all-important issue that I see that's very close to your heart. Alex has also done or performed a calypso-style song encouraging people to vote in this referendum. I will see if we're able to bring you that song in the course of this program. If not, at some point we'll show that song is giving us the right to broadcast that on Ben TV. So we'll be bringing that to you, if not today, on our subsequent program. Our technical crew working on it to get this done for us. And also very close to his heart are issues of immigration, diversity, race, and of course national identity that are also crucial in this EU referendum. So Alex is going to be an interesting guest on the show tonight. Joining me is our friend in the house, Jennifer Obaseki. Jennifer Obaseki, he's the senior partner at Obaseki Solicitors LLP here in London. She is spoken extensively on the legal implication of either both sides brush it or in, and she's looked at this on a legal perspective, why we must be involved, why you must be involved in this, and she's addressed so many for her on this topic of EU and what the law will imply if either of these brush it or in should win this election come 23rd of June. We are very pleased to have a legal guru here in the studio today that will be looking at the legal impulse of the EU referendum alongside Alex Pascal. Jennifer, thank you for joining us on the show today.
My pleasure.
All right, let me start with you. But before we go, we need to show our viewers what people have actually are saying on the street about this EU referendum.
Okay.
So let's go to see what our correspondent Osareme has to do with people on the street of London and their opinion. When we come back, we'll be speaking with Alex. It's just going to be about 10 minutes thereabouts. Let's go and see what is happening on the street of London. We'll be back.
I will prefer is the living we better because we are England for the many place, and including we are the restaurant, and every I will see the people a lot. There is no job. Yeah, it's very upset something, and I hope so. We're leaving soon. We better. Thank you very much.
I think I can make up my own opinion. There's enough data out there to make a decision.
Okay, so are you saying to like stay or leave?
That's my personal choice as to what I'm going to decide on the day, but I think there's enough information out there for you to make an informed decision whether or not you decide to go with the information that Cameron's telling you or Boris is telling you. There's enough information out there to make your own informed decisions without listening to them too.
So I think they both lie, they just want to, if we vote for them, but I think the better thing is to stay in Europe. Yeah.
What you think as well?
Yeah, I think so too.
So why do you think we should stay in Europe?
I think it's a better community. Like, if we come out, there's going to be a lot more trouble and paying visa and all of that stress, and all the people that have been here for long enough are just going to send back. And I think we should stay in the Europe community.
Not only that, it's about the food. It's going to be more expensive because now they go from other different country, which is good. Everybody happy with this. And I don't know.
Well, basically, I'm not English, so I should trust Cameron, obviously, hoping that they will stay. Even if I don't have any problem, because anyway, I'm living in England for more than 3 years, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, there are advantages, there are no advantages in both of the cases. As a person who comes from abroad, obviously my opinion couldn't be different from staying with Cameron. It seems quite obvious.
So you think if the UK leaves the EU, it's going to be a problem for foreigners?
To be honest, I didn't read probably enough about this, so I don't know yet what's going to be exactly. Also because they might say half of what they want to say, really, because maybe they just don't want to explain everything to everyone. Otherwise, people could be scared about to vote in a way or in another way. But yeah, well, definitely it will be better, probably, definitely. So if England will leave. I don't think only for foreigners. I mean, also for the same for the citizens, for the country. Anyway, there are, as I said, there are advantages, but not only. So, yeah.
I believe that we should remain. At the moment, we have status quo, and I am all in favour of homeostasis. And nobody has actually put forward a viable or indeed any kind of clear plan for what we'll do if we exit. It's very much a case of, right, you can have this, or we have the mystery box. And
so are you saying you're going to vote us to stay? Right?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Thank you very much.
I think that Europe gives us a lot more strength. It is responsible for many of the advancements that we've had. And I think that we would lose a lot by leaving.
Thank you very much.
I think we should stay in the European Union. It's just a lot of reasons. One of them is we have a lot better control looking after things like the environment and wildlife and things like that, being in the European Union, managing things that don't obey borders. But it just makes sense. There's a lot of scaremongering going on just now. And for me, I look at the people who want us to be isolated, and they're not necessarily very nice people sometimes. It's led by the likes of UKIP, BNP, and a lot of far-right people, and we're seeing a lot of that rising in Europe already. We need to work together to stop that.
Right. No, I can't think why. I just feel there's too much going on that's bad for me, and I'm not happy with the situation in the country. No, I'm not.
No,
I think we'd be better off out. I hope so. What do you think?
Well, to be honest with you, I think everybody's concerns are always about immigration. And because of what's going on in places like Germany, and you've even got people now trying to get across to the UK, crossing the Channel, people are getting scared by it. They feel that the country's just going to be completely overloaded, and I think that's probably the major thing that's making people want to leave Europe.
What about you?
Me personally, I'm undecided. And I can see both sides of the fence, and at the moment, I really don't know what way. I'm tipping more towards staying than I am leaving, to be honest. But I haven't made a concrete 100% decision yet. But I will do soon.
All right.
Okay.
I think you need to listen more to what's going on. Yeah, you do. But at the moment, no, I'm not going to stay.
I would like England to stay to the Eurozone, as in like the lots of us like foreigners that come here, not because we are the foreigners, but because I think us part in Europe and in England here, living here, we make a lot of effort. We do like lots of work that other people won't make the effort to do it, as the English people, and all this kind of stuff. And as I said before, like Europe is as in being in group. So if that's the point of being like a group of countries being together and fight for the best for the humanity, then everybody should stay in and try for the best for the humanity then.
I think we should definitely stay in, because it's better to be outward looking than inward looking. And also we know what we're getting with the in, but with the out, there's too many unknown factors, so yeah, we don't know.
It's quite difficult to know, because about the referendum. It's quite difficult to know exactly, because the referendum is coming soon, but it's quite hard to get the decision to know what is better for our country to.
All right, thank you for joining us. And that is what people have been saying to our correspondent on the street of London. Let me start with Pascal. Pascal, would you say that there's so much confusion out there from both sides of stay or out?
We call this place the United Kingdom. Is it right? It is the most disunited kingdom one would ever see. You can see from the confusion of what people are reacting to. And those who say that they haven't made up their minds yet is a smart way of saying, I'm out. That is for fact. I know Britain and I know it so well. Let me deal with something that must be part of this, the word immigration. You notice that they have dropped off the word black and they're only dealing with the word immigrants at this moment. I'll go back as far as 1959 when I arrived in this country. And then we can go down to 1974, 1962. I could pick the years and show you how politicians have fed the negative into the brain of the poorest areas of Britain, and therefore they have not educated the people for the change that is necessary to understand the Europe that they're living in, the beauty of what London is as a crossroad on the world. They have not seen that. There is absolutely no way, Tunde, that we can divide ourselves at this moment. They speak of a global world. They speak of communities. And even Cameron and the bunch of hypocrites, they speak of we're all in it together. The only two people who are in it together and apart is Boris playing one side of the boat and Cameron hypocritically playing the other side. The Labour Party, forget that. We are dealing not with party politics at this moment. We are dealing with a confusion in Britain that has escalated over the time because they have miseducated their community.
Jennifer, what could be the legal impulse of this if people vote out of confusion, say out of the fear of scaremongering? Look, Britain is an island, we can't afford to keep having people grace its days. I mean, you heard one of our respondents say, look, we cannot be like Germany. Everybody keeps coming in here and people concerned about immigration. If people vote based on this,
out of fear or lack of information.
What impact would it have from legal perspective?
Now, the problem is, as many people have said, there has not been enough detailed economic forecasting on what will happen should Britain exit the EU. Neither has there been proper legal analysis as to how to legislate to cover Britain's economically, socially, for the areas that it will now be excusing itself from by leaving the EU, leaving voids in grants for research, leaving massive voids in areas of legislation. So there would need to be a massive legislative process there would also need to be a very, very rigorous economic process. I think today the Lord Chancellor was trying his best to explain that by trying to outline let's say the skeleton of the new budget that would need to be issued to cover the holes that would be in the British economy. But again, because of the party politics, as you quite rightly said, sir, he's already been blocked. So, or even on the suggestion, or there's been the threat by 50 other of his colleagues or MPs to block him. And these are changes that are going to be necessary should Britain want to actually survive a Brexit vote. Economically, whether we're in or we're out, we all want to remain in our jobs. We all want the pound to stay strong, because if it goes down, it affects you, it affects me, it affects those who like immigrants, and it affects immigrants, it affects those who don't like immigrants. So the fact is, there has been such little forecasting and a lot of confusion, a lot of misrepresentation on figures. When you talk about immigration, if Britain leaves, there's not going to be a massive, let's say, exodus of migrants that are living here. The legislation is in place and people will have to remain, those who've been granted leave to remain. However, their rights to invite extended family members would have to change, so the Immigration Acts would have to change. And when you're implementing new legislation, you have to do it from the top down. So there would need to be an increase in revenues at local level to implement this legislation. So all in all, I don't think that there's been enough detailed thought with regards to the Brexit camp, with regards to cost, with regards to legalities, and with regards to the necessary steps that will be needed to make sure Britain stays afloat should it exit the EU.
When we did an analysis of that interview done by our correspondent out there, we found out that it does seem it's going to be a battle between the young and the old.
Yes.
The older generation seems to favor exit, while the younger generation, they seem to favor Britain staying. But getting them out now, I mean, the younger generation, is the issue. Why do we need to go out there and vote?
Well, that's why I go in the Caribbean, we use song. In Africa, you do it likewise. The Mighty Sparrow, when I turned back to him, that's Lord Kitchener and all these Calypsonians, they were the griots. They were the people who got the message across. I'll give you one example. There was a time, World War II, when the colonial government says, don't allow the masqueraders for playing carnival to wear masks. And within seconds, you're going to tell the people of a country, because Hitler and his men might come down, what the hell did we have to do with Hitler? Nothing. And a little tune begun like that. The governor say no mass. The governor say no mass. The governor say no mass. Tell the governor, ask no question, tell no lies. The rest I don't have to say. Within the boats leaving one island to get to the other, we didn't have television, we didn't have radio. It was called song, driving it across. I sat back and I have been looking at elections since I came to this country, and the case of migration and immigration. When Powell was shooting his mouth, rivers of blood, and I remember BBC Two were doing a program called Question of Numbers. And one of the producers says to me, Alex, could you write a song for us? I said, and I wrote, the streets are paved with gold, that's what the story told, come to the motherland, etc., to show that we came by invitation. I moved away from that, and in 1974, I looked at the Labour Party, Heath and Wilson. I go back a long time. And rubbish was piling up everywhere. The country was in a state. And there is no tune I hate more than Rule Britannia, because it's like a red rag to the bull. And I took the melody of that and I wrote, who fool Britannia? And who will roll again and again? When will the miners get that climb? Mr. Heath had minor pains. Mr. Wilson had labor pains. The Liberals were neither up or down, and the whole goddamn country was falling down. That's what's happening again. Then I went on to 1983 and I wrote the song Vote. This time taking no sides. That's how Calypsonians work. We don't take the sides, but the people could read the message. And I wrote, vote, because I think this is an opportunity, a golden opportunity for everybody. Young people, I'm saying to you, we the elders may have our buttons with Britain, especially us minorities. That future is yours. We can't allow Boris on one side with his entourage and Cameron on the other side. Don't wait for people to put things in your brain. Sit down and start to analyze this bunch that has been talking to you all the time and make up your mind. The answer to your question is the box. That little tick or the X that you're going to put in the box to decide your fate. It is either in or out. For me, how could I tell anybody to walk out when I don't know what the darkness is outside there? It's strange. That's how I see the situation at the moment.
But before I let you go, let me just quickly tell our viewers, the young man is here in the studio with me. Alex Pascal is still here in the studio. Obi is very experienced man, and I mean, I was listening to the news today.
Yes.
The Leave campaign is said to be having minor lead, but it does seem it's very close. Why is it that close? Did you have any idea?
Miseducation. And the media is playing their own. Who owns the media? We have to look at that. Who is the devil on that side and the other person on the other side? We have to look at that. And where are we as minorities in the middle of it? I want to stick with the minorities for just a while, because I have watched Asian people and black people and even some of them who are in politics saying, leave. As migrants, immigrants into this country, I'm going to now become one of the British, English, white, who were told before you have no place here, and tell others, we're leaving because too many of you are coming in. Come on, that's nonsensical. It then means that the negativeness of the British politicians have also sunk into my brain. I can't take that, I'm sorry. It's a serious issue outside. We cannot disengage ourselves. Everybody has to engage themselves. Britain has never been faced with a greater avalanche. This is it.
Jennifer, I mean, the way this is going, do people coming to your surgery feel any form of apathy? Do they have this tension in them?
Yes, a lot of migrants who have temporary leave to remain have that tension. We are advising people who are EU nationals to secure themselves by getting their residence cards, also by putting in applications to invite extended family members while the law is as it is, because as I say, if the Brexit vote camp wins, then legislation will have to change, since that their main focus is on reducing the numbers of people coming into the UK.
Would people leave almost immediately?
No, not at all. That's what I've said. The legislation that's in place and all that is there that has been, let's say, expressed is very clear that those who have leave to remain are to stay. They cannot and will not, by any let's say even legislation passed, be able to suddenly start expelling people from the UK that are from other EU countries, or even dependents, or even non-EEA dependent relatives that are living here. That's going to be impossible. The Human Rights Act and many international treaties will prevent that from ever happening. But as you say, the tension, the uncertainty, even among those who have come in that have permission to be here, it's worrying, because it now tells them that they're not wanted, you see. Indirectly, that's what many of them feel. But on talking about the closeness of the vote, there are still those who are undecided. So it's very important to make sure that they have sufficient information, accurate information. One of the things that has been put about inaccurately is the figure for migration.
Oh, yes, that's serious.
Obviously, David Cameron has been criticised for not maintaining the figures that he had put about, saying he's going to reduce and cap immigration. So that's one of the reasons why his fellow MPs are suddenly joining the Brexit camp. However, you've got to look at the numbers in their entirety. You have to look at the numbers of those coming in and those going out. You also have to look at what those who are coming in are bringing bringing into the economy, not just what they're taking away from the, you know, the government services, what they're adding to those services. When you look at organisations and public institutions like the NHS, it will collapse without migrants.
Definitely.
And this is the thing that is not being told. The other thing is, you know, really what we get in terms of the unseen advantages of being in Europe, what the grants do, the level of grants that this country gets for things like research and development, for regional development in areas such as the Shetland Isles in Scotland. There are projects for distributors, for business people that are going on there that they've got through central funding in the EU. Then you think about the devastation that it will actually cause within the UK itself. You think about the Scottish people and the fact that they want to, majority of those in Scotland want to remain in the EU, very strong and clear figures. But when you now contrast that with a lot of people in the south, as we've said, some papers have the Brexit camp with a lead, a minor lead at the moment. And then, as you said, sir, with regards to the media, a lot of negative media in the mainstream publications that we see. So we've got to be very careful. We've got to make sure that the information given to those who are undecided, and even those who are decided because the vote hasn't taken place yet, is accurate. So you don't float figures and, you know, just a class of people, migrants, without really looking at who out of those migrants are causing any negatives in the economy. Is it those who are here unlawfully? Is it those who the Home Office themselves have delayed on their applications that are there and not able to contribute, that are actually taking up resources, but not through their own fault, through delay, that is not caused by them. So looking at the causes of the immigration problem, looking at how to solve that separately, it's very different from looking at the EU, the vote, whether leave or remain. And I think it's too confused.
Tunde, there is something here. They keep using, you see, immigration is the thing they're using all the time to keep the minds of the people in darkness. If it wasn't for the immigrants, the industries of this country, the rolling wheels of London or Britain, and the factories would have gone on there already. And even right now, stand up, go on a train and listen to the accents that you hear there and the languages. It's not English. It's the languages of the world that you're listening to. That's a plus for Britain. So is Britain now going to say, okay, we want to be on our own, but we don't want the rest of you here. Only come and spend your money and go. Let me come to health. My wife came here before me in '58, and I could tell you that she worked in the hospital. Only 5 English were in the hospital as nurses. The majority were Irish, and the rest was from the Caribbean and a speckle from Africa. That's how it was. If it wasn't for them, and it was just after the birth of the National Health Service, 1948, when it was born or put together, if it wasn't for that, and if you go to the transport, I worked on the transport. I used to be on the Northern Line as a guard and as a guard motorman. I have been through the show business areas. I know Britain. I understand Britain. I have met the politicians. I've wined and dined in the lower and upper areas with them. That's why I could give you a real analysis of what is going on. We are stuffed with ignorance by politicians who hide inside behind the cloak, and they make statements like Enoch Powell, Maggie Thatcher, and all those. And the lot that we have right here now on the Brexit side, laden. They don't like ordinary people. They don't have information of how you and I live. So they are messing up this country. And boy, I bet you, after this happens, whether we go Brexit, which I don't like, or stay, it's going to be a confusion in Britain here after that, because you have set the cats among the pigeons. Technology that we have today, information that we have, I'm going to finish on this point. Where we are concerned as black people, our books and our scholars are not in universities. They blocked them for ages. Can we hope to see a together Britain? We have come a long way since I've come to this country. Are we going to leave the light and go back into darkness? Sorry, Boris. I'm not on that side. You and Gove and that bunch of others who are dealing here, you all should go and take yourselves into the stream and go to Europe. Go on down that side. They should never allow these sort of guys to even travel to go to that country afterwards, because they are setting up confusion. That's not what we need in a modern world. We need education, we need information, and we need unity. The world has too broken. Look at what's happening in Europe, the avalanche of people just living in thousands and millions all over the world, nowhere to go as refugees. I don't like what's going on. I've lived here, I've got children here, and I've got grandchildren here, and I say this very openly. Don't look at me just as a black man. I'm not English, I'm British. I've been British long before I came here. So no good those people sitting down at home and say, that black man talking there. No, this man is a British person talking about what he knows, what he sums up, and how he sees the way ahead. That's how I feel.
Currently, they put this division that, look, I've spoken with quite a lot of Africans, Caribbean, they said, look, and these guys, some of them are very passionate about leaving. They say, if we leave, it's going to open up jobs. It's going to open up jobs. It's going to open up housing. It's going to free our health service. They say it's going to give more opportunities to Commonwealth citizens. Very passionate, and this is what they are being fed with.
Dangling
is it
carrots.
right? Is that a true information?
I haven't seen anywhere in the Brexit camp that they're going to increase rights for Commonwealth citizens. Where did you see that?
Yes.
It's a misnomer. It is a. It's
this
a
is what they're
falsehood.
dangling before us. So look,
How are they
guys, some
dangling
Commonwealth
it?
citizens,
The thing is,
let
it's
this EU go.
misinformation.
You're going to have more rights now.
But where are
more
the
time.
EUs that are here lawfully are not going anywhere? So again, it's misinformation, and it's a very grave misunderstanding.
There are always carrots.
Terrible.
Don't you notice before an election what they used to do? 2 pence off a cigarette, penny off the beer. And then the people who, Bob Marley says it, you know, a hungry man is an angry man. You can't tell a hungry person who you're dangling a carrot in front of not to go with to the carrot. You can't tell them that. So at this moment, even today's paper is saying, Cameron is saying, which is stupid of Cameron to say that if you vote for us, you would see the opportunities afterwards. Why, if you got the money and could give us the opportunities, why is it you were not giving us before? So it's two cats. There's a piece of cheese on the table, and it's two cats playing the game, and the judge, which is the monkey, the judge is sitting down. And you know what's going to happen in the end? The monkey going to eat all the cheese, because the two cats cannot agree. Meaning they're in the same party and they're trying to mess up the brain of the people in Britain. That's what is going on.
All right, we'd like to go on a very short break now. I do believe that Alex is very passionate about it, and so he's very, very concerned as much as we do have Jennifer. So you're telling us by use of language here. So we'll go on this very short break, and we'll return as you have Alex Pascal, OBE, and Jennifer Opasiki, senior partner at Opasiki Solicitors, here in the studio. More information on why you need to get out there and vote on the 23rd of June. Wherever you vote, what you need is information. And I think I've got people here who are not just English, but are British. They know what it is, and they're giving us that information.
Damn right.
We'll be back after this short break.
Ben Television Sky 182. We are here to showcase you and promote you to our diverse viewers. Call us now on 0208 808 8800 or email us at bentelevisionuk@gmail.com. We are here to serve you.
Team Nigeria UK and the Nigerian Football Federation proudly presents the Lagos Showdown 2016. Game on! In the biggest and much anticipated international friendly match, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will be going up against the Team Nigeria UK squad on the 1st of August 2016, live at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. Gates open by 12 noon and kick-off is at 4 p.m. Entry is absolutely free for all. For more information, please visit www.teamnigeriauk.com. You don't want to miss it.
Apostolic Faith Assembly invites you to our 3-day retreat of dry fasting and prayers in Wales. Come and pray in a tranquil mountain and serene environment away from the daily hustle and bustle. Let's go to the mountain of Wales for prayers. Come and experience supernatural healing and breakthrough in all areas of your life. Healing from all kinds of sickness, disease, affliction of the body, soul and mind. Deliverance from spiritual attacks, breakthrough on immigration matters, marriage success, business success, workplace promotion, fruit of the womb mercy, divine peace and joy, family unity, challenging issues. Fasting starts on the 30th of June 2016 by 12 p.m. and will finish on the 3rd of July 2016 by 12 p.m. This is an interdenominational retreat. Everyone is welcome. Come and join us in fasting and prayers in Wales. To register for a place, call any of the numbers on the screen or visit our website www.apfa.org.uk. Accommodation and transportation are included in the price of £190 per person. Call us now or visit our website.
All right, thank you so much for being part of the program. I still have in the studio, Les Pascal will be co-founder of the Voice newspaper and the first black Iran and presented the first daily black magazine radio program for BBC Radio, and of course our own Jennifer Obaseki here in the studio. Alex, quickly let me ask you.
Yes.
I mean, I've had a lot of stories around your hobby. At the point you didn't want to take that, and you were pushed to taking that, and then you came out with an interpretation of your own. Tell us about it.
Tunde, you see, accolades, you have to be careful what accolades and how you take accolades, because it is believed that accolades could buy people off. No, it couldn't buy me off. I remember I was working in, it was a bombing period in Ireland, and I came home and I saw this OHMS letter, and I said to my wife, "What is that?" And she says to me, "Open it." And when I opened it, to cut a long story short, you see OB, and I said, "Oh, Joyce, you know, I never wanted to take that." She says, "Well, it's not you, it's the people who gave it to you." So then I thought, well, how could I take this OB order of the British Empire? Because the empire is dead. And I sat back and I thought, and I said, well, why you've been given that is for the excellent work that you have done. So I've moved the E into Order for Black Excellence.
Order for Black
I welcome that because I've done things here. I have.
Yeah. OB,
so
Order for Black Excellence.
Yes.
Jennifer, is that legal?
Well, it's whatever he wants it to be. He's an OBE.
Oh, you're a diplomat. No, she's not a lawyer. She's a diplomat.
All right, I've got a call coming into the studio for us today. Ajibola, thank you for joining us on the show today. Good evening, Ajibola. Go ahead and make your point. Where are you calling from first?
Mr. Tunde. I'm very glad for the program, and I'm glad that Jennifer is there. And I would like Jennifer to be very, very sincere, yeah? Because as far as I'm concerned, this referendum is about, the immigration part of the referendum is about the influx from East European. I mention East European because they are economic migrant people. You understand? And the point that the Leave campaign is raising is that opening border to economic migrant people is going to create an unfair treatment to other countries, especially people from the Commonwealth. And if Jennifer has to be sincere, since this influx, people have been having problems to renew their stay. I got about 10 cases. You understand that if you want, I can send to bed. The people they are denied unlawfully. I got proof. You understand? And I've spoken to Jennifer, and she had invited me to a forum in her office before. I discussed that with her. You understand what I'm saying? Not only immigration, yeah? People who hasn't got British passport, the minority who hasn't got British passport, who either got indefinite or 5 years, yeah? When they try to apply for a job, some application forms state categorically, unless we do not find someone who is as qualified as you from Europe, we will consider people from Europe before we consider you. You understand what I'm saying? This is a fact. You understand? It's not what is being.
So what is your point? What is your point? Ajibola, where are you going? So what are you trying to?
Is this?
Yes.
My point is that because
the immigration excuse of Brexit is a fact.
The majority of the minority. Hello.
Yes.
The reason I'm just giving you the reason why majority of the minority people are backing the house.
Okay,
Because
all right.
of
Thanks so
faith.
much, Ajibola. I think both Alex and Jennifer understand, although you're making reference to Jennifer. But let me start with Alex first.
Yes,
I mean, this is hitting the dangerous. I mean, I raised this question earlier on about, look, these guys are feeding us with, look, come on, what people you've got to send these guys out. And this is what Ajibola is saying. Very much convinced, very much passionate that we need to send these Eastern Europeans out.
Europe is a long rope. And the way it's going at the moment on all sides, which I'm surprised that this side want to just stay here. Maybe they want to hold the lead to the noose for that they would tie around the other's neck, but it wouldn't work that way. If the West, where it's supposed to have all the intelligence, does not show the rest of the world, I put it in a strange way, not meaning that the rest of the world doesn't understand Europe better than they understand themselves. If the Commonwealth that has fed this country and brought it to where it is ignored, as in the case of what you're talking about in the laws, give us a little bit of rabbit today, give them a little bit of goat tomorrow, it's, spoon-fed. If we don't cut that out, it is feeding into the young children and will breed more divide and segregation regardless to color in this world where we are. And to just finish on the point, what we are going through here with extremism, it's not only on Islamic factors, it's also on racial grounds based on ignorance.
Before I come to Jennifer, because I know that call is trying to come in, it's already in. Quickly, would it be fair for any migrant from anywhere in the world, Africans, Caribbean, to say another migrant is an economic migrant, say for instance,
so the pot calling the kettle.
Would that be fair?
Well, isn't it lovely? We have two pots. We have two pots already. That's Boris and Cameron calling themselves, telling the Firestone, the pot telling the Firestone its backside is black. All right, that's how it is. That's what they're doing while they're bluffing us. A migrant, just imagine that, and I've seen them. Migrants telling others, you can't. We are inside here. We have changed the culture of Britain already. No return Britain. The culture that I met here had no seasoning. Let me put it down to you this way. If we were to talk food or talk the understanding of a political world with a modern way to look at, it had no seasoning. It's got it all now. Britain has got it all because of the migrant implantation into this country.
Okay, I've got another call waiting. I'm sorry, I need to put you on hold for a few more minutes. Badibo, I may have to put you on hold for a few more minutes. Please just bear me one more second. Let me quickly come to Jennifer. Jennifer, that was directed to you.
Well, basically, we're a global and migrant society. Perfect. Every single country has people moving in and out of it. For one subgroup of people to now say another subculture should not come in is really discriminatory in its own way. But the fact is, if we leave the EU, none of the Bulgarians, Romanians are leaving. The law doesn't say they should leave, but it will stem those who are going to come in, yes. But those who are already here are here. The Polish, they're all here. And even on that, even those who are not European that have special treaties with the UK, such as the Turkish under the Ankara Agreement, are here, as well as people from the former Commonwealth who have come in under their visas. So the fact is, yes, there is animosity and there are hostilities due to the number of migrants, but there are migrants from every corner of the earth.
Okay. Let me quickly take Badibo. Badibo, thank you for waiting. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Quickly, Badibo, where are you calling from? And go ahead with your question. Badibo?
Hello?
Yes, thank you so much for waiting. Go ahead and make your comment. Where are you calling from, by the way? Can I ask you to turn down the volume of your TV set?
East Hampshire. East Hampshire, hello?
For sure. Turn down the volume of your TV set, please.
Yeah, I think
I think all these things.
Turn down the volume of your TV set, please. No, don't take him out. He's waited a long time. Please don't take him out.
Okay, give me a second.
Please, give him a second. He's waited a long time. Turn down the volume of your TV set, please. Are you there now?
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Badebo. Go ahead.
Right. Go on. Now, I think the reason I wanted to, hello?
I'm sorry, you've not done that. You may have to go. Next time you call into the studio, please turn down the volume of your TV set. That will be disrupting the audio. Vincent, I've got Mr. Vincent on the line. Good evening, Mr. Vincent.
Right, Tunde, good evening.
Thank you so much. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, I want to agree with Mrs. Obaseki. The issue is hello.
Go on.
Yeah, the issue is about unfortunately, if Britain were to be sort of attached on the mainland, that would have been an entirely different issue. But British being an island, there's the much they can take. And what you're going to get into is a question of years. That is permanent union. That is, you continue, cannot, once you are in there, you can't get out. And then you're talking about the social benefits within this union, the member nations. You find that the one they have in the UK is far better, and everybody on those new immigrants who prefer to come into UK.
So what are you driving at? What's your point?
What I'm telling to you, they are conscious of all these problems. For that reason, they want to opt out. It's better you deal with the devil that you know than what you do not know what might happen.
So which one is the devil known and which one is the devil unknown here?
Yeah. So the issue is clear. They haven't got the space.
Mr. Vincent, which one is the known devil? Which one is your known devil?
You know that bird which went into the
we haven't got the time. We've got limited time. Which one is the known devil? Which one is your known devil?
The one you have already within your ambit. You can manage them. Just as what.
So in is the known devil. All right, thanks so much, Mr. Vincent.
The ones coming in. Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We've got another call waiting. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Thank you for your contribution on the program today.
He's a philosopher.
He's a philosopher, I know.
And he agreed with me. So that means that he agrees that we're a cosmopolitan society.
Of course.
But I think he was talking about the geographical nature of Britain being an island.
Yeah.
The concept that it stands alone. Whereas
and
it
the
is
fear the Brexit have got in this.
So, but the fact is we are in a common area. So if Britain wants to stand alone, it can't stand alone and fight terrorism.
No.
It can't stand alone and survive economically.
No.
It can't stand alone and deal with all these growing problems that we have in this world, including immigration. So it's better to be in a union where you have strength in numbers and where it has a say. If Britain is to vote out, it may still be subject to the laws of the EU, some of the treaties, have to incorporate some of the legislation, but not have a say at the table. And we don't want Britain to be at a disadvantage where it has to fall subject to laws that it doesn't help make.
But could you imagine that we're talking about immigration? What's about migration?
Exactly.
I mean, Britain in the early period migrated to everybody's country.
Yes.
Everybody you could dream
everywhere
about. Now, there are not as many people coming in here. When we were coming, I think up to 62, Thatcher said that, oh, this country is small, we can't take any more, we'll be overrun. She didn't say it in nice words like that. They would what our culture, they would swamp our culture. That's what it was said. Since then, how many millions have come in? No, Africans can't come in just like that. Caribbeans can't come in just like that. The Australians and New Zealanders can come in just like that because of whiteness. Let's not bucket. That's what it is. The Europeans, they could flood in just like that because they're all one How could Britain turn around now and say, we are not all one? Cameron's own words and his own group around him, those against and those for, have all said in it, we are all in it together. Are we?
But can I put this question to you, Alice? But now that, I mean, suddenly you see the Borises trying to speak for the Commonwealth. Look, let's chuck out the Europeans. Let's have a better relationship with you.
Young Cassius has a lean and hungry
look. You can have more family here. You have access to better job, housing.
Shakespeare has well written. Young Cassius has a lean. He ain't lean, but he has a lean and hungry look. You have to watch him. It's all that way. This man knows how to play to a camera. He has done more with the camera than he has done as the mayor of London. That's a fact. Forget about the bicycles. He didn't put them there, although he rides one. It wasn't put there. It was put by Livingstone and the others. Okay. Right? Many of the things we are looking at in London, despite how people would hate Livingstone, was done by Livingstone in that period.
Or his brainchild.
Or his brainchild. There is absolutely no way, Tunde, whether you are black, white, or indifferent, and that goes for all, there is absolutely no way now. And it's the young people that's got to do it. If the elder people are charged with that old form of education, they're coming to take our women, they're coming to take our jobs, and they're coming to do that, that's gone. We will lose everything if you were to go down. The Thames will flow just one way. The salmon will never go back up and come back to spawn the new ones. That's what I'm telling you.
Thank you so much, Alice Basque. It's been a pleasure having you on the program today. Such a very lively person. Jennifer, your last take on the show today.
It is a vote for yourself and for the next generation.
And
that vote needs to be what you feel from the best information. Don't follow the misinformation. That people leave the UK freely and go to many countries in this world. Yes. And the UK have rules that prescribe those who are qualified that need to come in and those who have free entry. But the numbers that you're seeing and the truth about immigration has not fully been told. And with regards to the benefits of being in Europe, unfortunately, the in-camp has not really shown the vast extent of the benefits of being in Europe. And with regards to the Brexit camp, I'm sure they have good intentions, but they haven't spelt out what will happen if we leave.
Vote.
Alice?
Vote.
And you must vote.
Vote, as my song said, vote.
Don't stay at home on the 23rd. Make sure you vote.
Keep voting. Vote.
Yes.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for coming in. Alice, we look forward to bringing you back.
Pleasure.
By the way, OBE, Order for Black Excellence, isn't that?
Order for Black Excellence. I love
it. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
We look forward to having you again very soon before to talk more about this. We need to get this out there and get this information straight to our people so that they know what we are in this program. Jennifer, thanks for always being supportive. Thanks for always being there.
My pleasure.
That's Jennifer for us. My name is Tunde Labi. This is how far I can go today on the program. It's a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your night. Make sure you vote. Registration is closed, but make sure you vote based on the right information.
Vote.
Please vote.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.
Your network and increase your sales? Well, advertise your services with us here on Ben Television. Ben Television Sky 182. We are here to showcase you and promote you to our diverse viewers. Call us now on 0208 808 8800 or email us at bentelevisionuk@gmail.com.